Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, welcoming you once again to the intro of our Dragon's Den run through. You know, as I was sitting down with the other hard slingers around the digital rage room, around our virtual eyes of destiny, I kind of been battering back and forth with them via Discord and whatnot. And a couple things that we decided, which we announced on this episode, is that we won't be picking up our Book 2 of Carrying Crown, The Beast of Lebestead. One of the reasons why is so many of the original players are no longer with us, whether through family obligations or they've moved away and they've signed these non-disclosure forms of things that they cannot do, or maybe they went to the moon, or they're traveling around the rings of Uranus. Anyways, but what we did decide to do is we're going to start Book 3 of the Carrying Crown run through. Broken Moon right here. I know you can't see it, but you can hear it live right here. And the reason why is I think it would be nice to start a fresh book, and the most likely aspect is we will be using these same characters that we were playing in the Dragon's Demand, because when they level out of that AP, they should be primed for that one. So it's kind of cool. We'll add a little consistency, a little continuation to what we've already got going on in Galarian, which I'm looking forward to doing. We've also got a few things that are kind of in the works of running shorter APs that don't cover 64 pages, that might be able to get done in maybe 3 to 5 sessions, something wham bam. Also looking at putting out more Delta Green scenarios, material for everybody out there. That I hope everybody's enjoying those. We're currently running our Deep Waters scenario with we got Hard Slingers, Ratke, and Junior, and man, they're having a great time. I know that I'm having a great time running it through it. So if you haven't heard episode 1, get on it. I'm about ready to drop episode 2 any day now. Don't want to take up too much of your time anymore. So why don't we just warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 46 of our Dragon's Demand run through. 46, I can't believe it. What's this one called? Swing on This. You'll understand as you listen to the episode. Anyways, everybody out there, enjoy it. And I look forward to next week.
David, I'm telling you, man, I could have sworn it was you. I saw it from the side. I'm like, dude, is he here?
Nice.
And I almost went up to the guy and I was like, David? And I'm like, I came around. I'm like, it's not him.
That's always me, and I'm always wrong. So I'm on the other side. I'm like, even if I know it's you, I'm still not going to say hello.
It would have been a trip.
Potentially turn him off.
It would have been trippy though if you were there.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Bumped into each other.
Yeah, small world, right?
Yeah, I was just coming off Pirates of the Caribbean.
That was what, Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, that's Magic Kingdom. That was our last day there. That was the Monday.
What about you two crazy bastards? You ever been to Orlando?
No.
Are you talking to me?
No. Well, you live here now. You're Florida man. You get the discounts.
Well, years ago, Brandy she used to get this President's Club through her through her work, and they would fly her and her spouse, which is obviously me, because he couldn't be available. They would fly us to different places.
Mother of her children.
Yeah. The guy they called Dad. They would fly us like to Camelback in Arizona, and then one time they flew us out to Orlando, and we got a choice of one of the parks that were up there, and so we chose the Magic Kingdom, and we got to do all that stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that place is huge, man. The sprawl.
Yeah, it's the land
massive.
It's on is just massive.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, we stayed at the Riviera, and they added Skyliner or gondolas. So you can just go straight from the hotel on the gondolas to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. You don't have to take a bus, monorail, nothing. You just take a gondola over and you're there.
And we did Epcot too, that same weekend. because her dad obviously lived out here, so he just drove up the 2-3 hours and met us, and we spent the day at Epcot, and then I think it was the previous day or that day, I don't remember.
Great park. It's a lot of fun. That's where we spent most of our time. We spent like 2.5 days there. Drinking and eating.
Yeah. I went last time with my kids and another family and their kids, and they had kids that were younger than our kids. So we're talking about a difference of like 4 to 5 years, which, kids under 10 years old is a lot. And my kids were actually warming up. Everything was going good. And the other kids were like, well, they get to that point where they hit the wall and they're like done. And we're like, all right, let's just go. It's called a day. This has been fun. Let's get out alive. So I feel like they're at an age where we could go and really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids will they'll give the final burst, which is this supernova of energy, and then they'll just like somebody cuts the strings and they just limp marionette the rest of the day.
And that's when you're like carrying them like out over the shoulder, like they're like napped, like just passed out.
You want to try to get out before then, because even though they may only weigh like 30-40 pounds, for some reason they get really dense.
Gravity just affects them doubly.
Yeah.
That's like too, man. They affect them by more stuff.
At that point, they cease being kids and they are officially sacks of potatoes.
Well, are we ready to do a little gaming of D&D?
Do it.
Yeah. Let's do this thing in. Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, and with me, the Hard Slingers. Episode, what is it, Chris?
46
of our Dragon's Demand run through. He reminded me that. Not that I forgot. As always, business before we begin. First thing I want to do is drop a shameless plug for our Delta Green scenario, Deep Waters. We got an episode already out. Check out the links, find it. We got a few more ready to drop pretty soon as well. Second, as far as Carrion Crown news is concerned, we are not going to be jumping into Carrion Crown Book 2. I think that would be too convoluted for everybody to try to fill in all these different spots of the people that have no longer on the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop into Book 3 with these characters. So, because by the end of this scenario, we'll put them at the level advantage of being in Book 3, which is called Broken Moon. So be ready for that, because that's what we're going to be doing. So you guys, I'm not going to give a full-blown rundown of what we did last episode, other than to know that you guys had decided that you were going to take a rest. Long rest, because it can't be a short rest. But you never told me where you were going to take that rest at.
Do we want to go back to the storeroom?
With all the Amazon boxes?
We can cuddle up inside of some boxes.
Lay out some like flattened boxes.
Now you had the you had a couple different options. You had the lavatory, where you basically, the latrine aspect of this whole manor.
You mean the shit show that we're in?
Yeah, the shitter. You guys had the one room that had the ruins on the floor with this certain entity basically within it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you could go back to the room where the metal construct was at, with all the bits and pieces that basically may have put this thing together. Or you could go back to where you killed the sheer demon, or wherever you want to go.
Didn't the servant guy, didn't he have a bed in his room, or was it like too nasty to go sleep? Because there was actually cots.
Well, Mephistic did have a cot, and that was in the kitchen, as well as the other two employees there, Saba, and I forgot what the other individual's name was. We'll just call that one employee C.
Linus.
Not gonna work here
anymore. Good
anymore.
one, Chris. Good one, Stephanie.
Something notes.
Right?
It's right
there. And Warren, you did grab that journal that was on the table, that was with that little demon thing that was in the circle. I don't know if did you guys grab the short sword and the scimitar and the armor?
I believe.
Or did you
so.
leave it
No, I think we
behind?
left it.
Oh no. Yeah, we did leave it. Warren did make brief note of it down for inventory.
Okay. So tell me where you guys would like to go to try to restore whatever it is about yourself.
Preferably not in the same room as another demon.
Or with robots. Nah.
I don't know, Valadier. The robot room, at least we know the entrance in. We at least know that is clear, and we know there's only one other exit, and that's the secret passage, and we can close that door. I think that may be the safest rather than us backtracking so far.
And from what I can tell, there's nothing, at least as it is now, in there that is dangerous.
No, there were just there were 7 tables in there,
Mm-hmm.
all with different items on those tables,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know if it's a half destroyed or half built construct on one of the larger tables. There's dust all over the floor. Who knows? You tell
Sounds
me
fine
where
to
you
me.
would like to go.
Yep. Everybody voting for the storage room?
I think the storage room is also a good spot because it is central to almost everything else.
So
I
you're going
actually-
back to the Amazon delivery room then?
No, I'm sorry. No, I was meaning what Stabby was talking
Oh.
about.
The one with the machinery.
Yeah, the work room with the robot.
Okay, the workshop.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. He makes good points.
You guys make your way back through the labyrinth of corridors and turns and everywhere else. Find your way back into this room, low lit room. You know that the door that leads back into the main hallway is still open from when you guys left it open last time. I don't know if you guys closed the secret passage or not, or leave it open. What would you like to do?
Can we pull that secret passage closed from
Sure.
where we're at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dempsey will do that.
I'm gonna take a handful of ball bearings and just put them down in front of that, on the floor in front of that secret passage,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna make my way into the room and go over to the room in the southwest corner. Roll out my bedroll and just kind of start getting comfortable and decompress a little bit.
Very good. You guys going to set a watch? What are you guys going to do?
Yes. Fuck yes.
Yeah, I'll take first watch.
Okay. While Valadier is up for first watch, so Warren, I go and set my stuff down on the far wall, in between tables A and E that we have labeled on the server there. And you guys actually notice Warren, I actually pull out a charcoal stick and inscribe a small circular rune, probably about 2 feet in diameter, on the floor. And I take my rapier out, the one that was forged, and I stick it so that it is very gently resting point down in the center of it. And I let the hand go, and it stays there standing on end. And for the next hour, as we settle down, there's extremely quiet chanting and little tiny sparks of fire around the rune circle. At the end of it, I stand up, pull the rapier by the hilt up, and then swing in the air a couple of times, and then with a flourish of the hand, the rapier disappears in a little burst of flame.
Quite the
Valadier,
magic trick.
where are you going
Right.
to be? Where would you like to be?
Who?
Valadier.
Valadier is going to take post probably next to the door in the northern corner.
Okay.
He's going to turn to one of the corners over there, take a leak, seeing Warren claiming his territory. He would like to claim his corner as well.
So I look in Valadier's direction, and I'm kind of confused that he doesn't have the accent anymore. And I look at Warren and I say, do
He's a spy.
you hear the same thing that I hear?
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was focused on this, Stabby. I'm sorry. What is that?
Valadir's accent is gone. Warren, did you pick up on that?
Well, he is a performer.
Dempsey is down there like this, and he's like just totally enraptured by the magic. Like,
Now,
and he kind
what
of,
do you-
he realizes you go see him. He's like, "That's a good point, Stabby. Yes."
So what are you doing while you're wasting time, Warren? You said you're looking at something?
I am basically binding my rapier
Okay.
so that I can now call it. It is also now considered a magic weapon.
Okay. How long are you guys planning on doing your rest, and who's on first watch?
Valadir's on first watch.
Okay. Make a perception check, Valadir.
$14.
14. Every so often you hear a creak come from elsewhere in the manor. It's faint. You really can't tell which direction or where it came from. And it's not rhythmic. It's sporadic, intermittent. It's not like 5-second intervals. It's not 20 seconds. Sometimes it's a minute. Sometimes it's every few seconds. Possibly the manor's settling down, maybe.
Enough to catch my attention, though.
Yeah, it's just as, because there's no other noise in the room. As you sit there, it's just like being in an older house. Occasionally, maybe the ground settles and makes the foundation creak or whatever. But you really can't tell. But it's not coming from the room you're in.
All right, I'm just going to keep aware of that and make sure I pass that along to whoever I wake up.
How long are you going to be on watch?
At least a couple hours. I don't know who volunteered. Who needs their full 8?
I mean, I do need 8, but I'll do a shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, generally speaking, it's considered unless you get interrupted while you are taking a long rest, you can take your portion of watch and still be considered rested. It's usually how it winds up landing.
Yeah, as long as you're not doing anything strenuous or not working out, not working the bag.
Guys, keep in shape.
Yeah, Dempsey's gonna try to, avoid lifting weights during this, but he's not gonna make any promises.
So, Valadir, you don't hear anything else other than those typical noises during your shift. When it ends, you go over and you know it's time to wake up Dempsey.
All right. I'll see if Dempsey's awake. Dempsey, it's your time for watch.
And he just kind of like, just his eyes open. And for a second, he looks really surprised and he almost goes after him. Then he realizes who it is. And he's
Stop,
like,
my friend.
and he nods, Valadir, thank you.
Oh,
Are we okay?
By the way, this house seems creepy. It makes weird noises, on and off.
Keep my ear out. Get some rest, my friend. Tomorrow is going to be interesting. I feel it.
All right, before Valadir goes to sleep, he'll take out his lute and just kind of strum along and kind of practice in the background.
Somewhere in
A
the
little
distance.
hand organ in the corner.
That's right. Don't mind me. I'm just minding my business.
So as you start beginning your watch, about 10 minutes into it, eventually Valadir puts that ridiculous instrument away, eventually falls asleep. Why don't you go and make a perception check as well, Dempsey?
Ooh, 16.
16. You kind of get an understanding of what Valadir was talking about the house being creepy. You hear creaking as well from somewhere in the manor. And you also hear what sounds like footsteps occasionally running around above you. It's hard to tell where it's coming from. And it's really strange because you realize that the manor is built of stone. So for it to be making these creaking noises is a little strange. The rest of your shift goes without any molestation whatsoever. Occasionally you hear this, the creaking still. Then at the end of your shift, what would you like to do?
Who's getting woken up next?
I think Stabby. Warren indicated that he would that I would prefer last watch.
Okay, so he'll go over to Stabby, and he's aware that Stabby's a paranoid person, so he's gonna do it very carefully.
By the way, my eyes are open, but I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, he's like scared of him, even though he's like really tiny. So I don't know how he'd do it. Maybe he just kind of like nudges him with the toe of his foot. He's kind of like
start flicking copper coins at him.
Yeah, he just lays a penny next to him, and he keeps putting
lay
money
right beside him.
Yeah. Eventually, Stubby just smells the money and wakes up.
Is that how that works?
Dempsey, what are you doing?
Cash. Yeah.
What are you doing here? Wait, where
your
am
turn
I?
for watch.
Oh, we're still okay. I slept very, very hard. We're still in the room. I look around. Yeah, not that kind of hard there, Valadier.
That's why you didn't roll over, did you?
Pitch my own tent.
I think I've seen that movie before with a little halfling running around.
There's something. I hear something in this house. You want to just keep your ear out. It sounds like something's moving around. It's really weird. It's not close though. I don't know. I don't feel like it's a danger right now.
How could we hear anything amongst these solid stone walls?
Your guess is as good as mine, but it's really weird.
Something's not right.
This place is like a Scooby-Doo mansion, man.
Who is this? Who is this doobie of Scoop?
Okay, Dempsey, go get some sleep. I got next watch.
Okay, so he'll go over there and play some skin flute too.
Spoon and Valadier.
Yeah. Isn't this what we're doing?
It's for one.
Is this loot taken? So Stubby, you take your watch. Why don't you go ahead and make a perception check as it starts getting on into it.
Oh, jeez. That's rolling like crap. Hold on.
Just keep rolling until you find something you like.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
I get to re-roll it.
One time.
Only once.
Another one.
4.
4. You don't know what Dempsey was talking about. You don't hear anything. It's possible whatever he heard might have been in his imagination running wild with him. Perhaps maybe he heard something, but it stopped. At any rate, you don't know anything about what Valadier may have known or heard. The rest of your watch goes uneventful. Make another perception check as you begin to wake up Belhaim.
Another perception. 13.
13?
Yes, sir.
You still don't hear anything. Everything seems pretty smooth. You hear the regular breathing of all of your comrades. Outside
You
of that,
actually don't hear it of Warren. You actually walk over to where Warren is, and in a corner, kind of like almost tucked behind a out of the way, is his ring on the floor.
oh, look what I found, boys! So you see his Warren's ring just hanging out.
So I kind of bend down and just with my index finger kind of flick it across the stone.
Put the ring in fire.
So there's this like flash of a spark, and then kind of like a super brief like jet of flame comes out to the side, and I appear there out of like the silhouette,
panting, breathing heavy and shit,
and and just like holding his head, like, oh wow, that rings. Oh, please be careful when tapping the ring.
Never interrupt my skin flute.
That's right. Those are words to live by. Be careful when tapping that ring.
Yes.
Warren, is there another way that in the future that you would like to be awoken from your slumber?
Oh, you can just talk to me. I can hear everything in the room.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I just.
It's fine.
I mean, I didn't.
It's quiet. It's safe in there. There's cushions. I've got plenty of room to spread out. So it much more comfortable than sleeping on the stone ground.
Unincluded.
Okay.
I
It
have
is,
a question
Yes.
as an inquiring individual. If
Mhm.
somebody were to take this ring with you in it and throw it into the ocean, what would happen?
Well, first off, I am aware of everything that goes on.
Okay.
So I would be aware of someone picking it up and wandering off with it. But I would assume so I can pop out whenever I want, or I pop out after a certain number of hours automatically. Which actually in this case is about the end of our long rest.
So you wouldn't just be unaware of, and next thing you know, you're on the bottom of the ocean and you're like, there's no way out now.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I Dream of Jeannie, right?
It is actually very much like I Dream of Jeannie.
I dream of Ringy. Moving on. So you two. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I will kind of get up, stretch a little bit, and okay. Certainly, I'll keep watch. I'll wake everyone up in a couple of hours. You should go and get a little more rest.
Warren, it was totally uneventful, quiet as can be. Didn't hear
That
a thing.
is good to know.
I think it seems like we're still in a safe spot. So I go back to my southwest corner and lay back down on my bedroll.
Conk
With
out.
a little bit of luck, it will stay that way for a couple more hours.
So Warren, you're on watch now.
Mm-hmm. I am gonna alternate between reading that new journal, that we just picked up in that demon creature's room, while I'm kind of listening to everything that's going on. So
Okay.
every once in a while, you guys will just hear the turning of a page if you're that much awake.
So as you're going through, looking at this journal,
Mm-hmm.
realizing that the composition of this book is probably more than you're going to be able to soak in the limited amount that you have while you're on watch. But as you're skimming through, you realize that a lot of it has to deal with Hung Clay and him trying to summon a gamut of entities, whether they're demons or devils, azadas to archons. A lot of the topics talk about the creation of constructs and the homunculi that most likely what you guys had encountered before. But everything seems to channel back to the most common topic, which is the dark tapestry. Everything that he's doing seems to revolve around the dark tapestry. He talks about the entities that he's tried to summon to get information, the ones that he's kept, the ones that he's threatened. And he talks about how there was this one particular representative of the Dominion of Black that seemed promising, but he was forced to outright kill it. And that was at his secret cave, basically. And as you scanning through this, go ahead and make a perception check.
That is a total of 6.
6.
I am engrossed in this book.
You are completely engrossed in the book to the point where the whole thing just is amazing that this individual had brought so many entities to your plane, and yet you've only encountered the 2 so far, the one that's in the room down the hall,
Mm-hmm.
and then the sheer fiend as well. And obviously you saw one of his constructs in the homunculi fashion, but a lot of it is just, you could tell that this guy was not just focused on something, he was obsessed with it. And as you ponder this, you realize that your shift is over.
One thing that I wanted, I would have tried to my memory for before getting to the point where I have to wake everyone up. You use the phrase Dominion of Black, I think.
Dominion of the Black.
Dominion of the Black.
Yes.
I would like to see if I have any inkling of what that might be.
Okay. It was representative of the Dominion of the Black. Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming that's an Arcana check.
Yeah, let's go with Arcana.
That is an 18.
18. You just know it has something to do with the Dark Tapestry, but you've never heard that title before. You never heard anybody else use that to identify somebody else, or anybody identify themselves as a representative of the Dominion of the Black.
Would it be reminiscent of identifying a classification of creatures that are like directly or indirectly under control of a particular being or an entity within the Dark Tapestry?
You want to know if it represents somebody that's under the control of somebody that's in the Dark Tapestry.
Right. Like, would that be a way to address or classify essentially someone who is, under the control of an entity of the Dark Tapestry?
It would be a way to address somebody, but not necessarily somebody who's under control of something. You almost get the feeling that it's like a title. So
it's not... Right, I was going to say, so is it like a title? Is it like saying that this is would be the squire of a, entity of the Dark Tapestry or something, or an apprentice or something like that?
Yeah, just somebody who would...
or a servant, or...
But it would be higher up than a servant, more like it's a representative, somebody who would stand in the stead of somebody greater, but not necessarily a thrall of that individual.
Okay, so it wouldn't necessarily... Okay, cool. That gives me a good frame of reference. Thank you. Right. And then suddenly realizing what time it is, I will very as unobtrusively as possible try to go and wake up the companions. Kind of taking a moment to see this odd mess of bodies. It is Valadier and Dempsey, and just carefully waking them up. With Stabby, I will standing a good 10 feet away so I don't suddenly get a dagger, will very gently tap his shoulder with a mage hand.
Flick fire on him. So everybody begins to awaken, I suppose. Mm-hmm. You feel rested. You feel your constitution reconstituted. Basically, your hit points are back up to par again. Mm-hmm. Spells handled. Everybody's shaking off the sleep from their eyes and everything. And as you look around the room, you notice that the door that originally led into the room, not the secret passage, but the other one, is fully closed at this point.
I think Dempsey is going to stand up, and he sees you still have that book out, and he walks over to Warren, and he's like, let me tell you something. You know a lot about magic. You know a lot about all this weird books and such, but what we're walking into is a fist fight. There's no other word for it, and that's my expertise. Now, up till this point, and he kind of nods at Valadier, we haven't been doing very well. Now, we got something we haven't had in these other fights. We got the element of surprise, and we got time to plan. We need to walk in there like a team. We need to figure this thing out and go in, get the jump on this thing, and be done with it. How's that sound?
I like your idea. We take the bee by the wings, and you start beating.
Perfect. Mr. Stabby?
I just pull out my rapier and say, let's go. Let's do this. I'm tired of fussing about.
Where I come from, there's no such thing as dirty fighting. But if you guys got anything you can do to get ready and you see him pull out a potion, he's like, I suggest if there's anything you can do to make us better. One of the best fights I ever won in my life. I was having a really good day and the other guy was having a really, really bad day. So if we can make him have a bad day and us have a good day, that's how we're going to win this. And we're going to win this one for Flint.
That sounds like a plan. And with a flourish, I pull a flaming rapier out of the air.
Wasn't sure where you're going to pull that thing out of. But I'm glad Noah was out of the air.
Out of the ring.
Out of the ring. Whoa, shit.
Right?
Pay good money for that in Thailand.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So,
That's Galarian. Get it right. We're talking Magnamar.
if you guys, I don't know if you have any other preparation, but you see him, he's like tying his boots good, making sure his armor's on the right way, like cracking every single knuckle, redoing his fist wraps, you know, like he's going in there to beat the shit out of this person. And
Sharpening
he
his
doesn't
fists.
care. Yeah. Cocking them, just 22s. But he's got the potion ready. He's going to drop that right before they go in. And quick ration, so he's carb loaded.
Any other preps you guys doing? Or
Valadier is stretching. You know, always good to stretch.
preparing to finger your flute, your lute.
Get the whammy bars ready, says yo.
Whammy bar.
I can just imagine this going down, kicking the door down.
He's got he's got one of those voice box things. All right, Stubby, what do you
comes
do?
alive, baby.
I'm
Go ahead.
I'm sitting back, taking a deep breath, just kind of composing myself, getting into my Zen place, ready to stab.
All right. You pick up your balls.
I don't have any.
The steel balls off the floor.
You
ball
kind of
bearing.
volleyed yourself for that one.
Yeah, dun-duns.
The steel balls. You leave them there, or you pick them up.
Yeah, I'll thank you. I will pick up the steel balls from the ground.
It's got like
place
60 of them. I'm almost done.
Yeah, almost done. I'll place them back into my pouch and
Very
then
good.
step away from the door and look at Dempsey and kind of nod like, "You're up."
Okay. And knowing that there may be something, I mean, in my house growing up, there was rats, and maybe that's what that is running around. So he'll look at everybody. Are you ready?
Let us do this.
Ready.
So he opens the door and starts leading his way directly. Or are we going back down the secret? I can't remember. Down the
Yeah.
secret to, okay. So we'll leave that door closed and we'll go down the secret passageway.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys make your way back from where you originally were at, making your way through all these narrow passages ways to the south, and then to the west, and then to the north, and then to the west again. And you start making your way south down that larger corridor where you know that where that entity was at within the confines of that runes circle.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start getting closer to the large open door, you still hear this.
So Dempsey's going to do like a fist up and he turns around. And so that the thing in the room can't hear it, he's going to turn around and say, "This is the play. Mr. Magic, this thing wants you to let him out or whatever. Why don't you go in there and get him talking? We'll surround him. We'll give Stabby and Valadier a line of sight. I'm going to grab this son of a bitch when he's not expecting it. And then we go to town on him."
Dempsey, what if I have a particular skill that might come in handy here? That if I get the drop on this guy, I can do quite a bit of damage, potentially a lot of damage. But I have to get the drop on him.
Hmm.
It's up to you guys. Your plan sounds very solid, but
I would like to see what would happen. Stubby,
What if we
how
start
can we
with that?
assist you?
Yeah. What if we start with that and then I think if I hold him in place, that'll work too, right?
We could. My intention is to attack him from a distance with my bow. I don't intend to get close to him.
Okay. I'll stay out of your way this time.
What about Warren? You gonna get in his way?
I'm gonna keep at least a 5 foot square between me and Warren. If I'm punching anybody, it's myself. So,
Or Valadair.
So I swap to my short bow,
Okay.
and I would like to attempt to enter into stealth before we enter the room.
Okay. Give me a marching order or how you guys want to make this play. I like your stealth aspect. So I'm assuming you're going to be running point on this.
I'll be point, at least for the beginning of the fight.
Okay. Who's behind you?
I will go in behind and engage him. So essentially in that room.
Well, I'm assuming everybody right now is still outside of the door until we get an idea of who's going in first and second, third, fourth. Who's third? Who would like to be third?
Valadair will go in third.
All right. Way to
Clear
go,
the
Val.
other distance for Stubby.
Okay, so Dempsey bringing up the rear. By the way, this hallway is 10 feet wide, so you guys can be side by side if you want to. So
I'm gonna go ahead and drink my last Shield of Faith potion.
yeah, chug that shit, boy. That's what I like to hear.
This is yeah.
So Stubby.
Oh, one other thing. I'm sorry, really quickly before we go in. I make a few gestures in the air, and you actually see the air kind of like warp briefly around me, and then it kind of like a bubble that then kind of fades. The air goes back to normal as I cast mage armor on myself.
All right. So Stubby. You hear
Close
this?
my
Tell me your play now.
Gonna close my eyes. I'm going to become one with the stone walls, stone floor, with a solid 10 of a roll.
Okay. I smell you. Who's out there? You again?
Hey, Dempsey, we're gonna have to. I look back at Dempsey and say, I think we're gonna have to change our tactic here. He smells me. I could hear him.
I will step in at that point and see if I can distract him from Stabby.
You
so
step fully into the room?
I step fully into the room. I will step essentially in the middle, at about 10 feet into the room against the far wall, or against the north wall there.
Okay. You came back, yes? You come to let me out?
Well,
Should
we
it
may-
appreciate it? Should it go home, please?
we came back to ask you some questions, and then based on your answers, that may change our actions.
What? I can't hear you. Come close.
No, you can answer from right there.
I can't hear you.
Are we
I
really?
will-
Are we really
This you
gonna?
he-
Are
you
we
hear-
really gonna ask him questions, or are we just gonna straight up
Oh,
freaking go at it with this guy?
I mean, like, Warren might see how cooperative he might appear to be, but Warren I'm under no illusion that we'll actually get anything useful out of this guy. So mostly Warren, I'm there talking to him to try to get him to focus on me and hopefully pay less attention to the rest of you while you get into.
I think from the hallway you just hear like something hard hits something else really hard. Yeah.
Poor Valadair.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, was that Dempsey pushing Valadair out of the way?
Yeah, he just pushes him into the room. Get in there, pretty boy.
All right, moving in.
Play 'em
Push
some
your
songs.
fucking loot, yeah.
MC, I still think that I can get the drop on this guy coming into the room. It sounds like he's kind of focused on Warren right now.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valadier
Dempsey's
will-
working himself into a fit. He's just like punching the walls. Yeah. I'm saying you see dust coming off the ceiling. He's just fucking this place up.
It's like a fucking one-man mosh pit.
Right.
He's gonna come in like the Jew bear from the movie.
Glorious bastards.
Mhm.
Where is Warren at this point?
He is against the northern wall and like dead in the middle of that wall, he said.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Northern wall. So you're out of the way as we come in the door.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Valadier wants to step into the room on the south end of that door, just like coming in.
Okay. He passes you by, Stubby, and enters into the room. So I'm assuming you're just south of the opening then.
Yeah, like
Okay.
5-10 feet from it.
Stubby.
So as I have my short bow, and as I come across the threshold of that door and look kind of south, I've got my bow drawn, and as I come right around that corner to see that thing, I'm gonna let an arrow fly. Okay.
Now
Now
make your attack.
I'm gonna use my assassinate skill. So
Describe for our listeners the assassinate skill, please.
So I gain advantage on an attack roll against any creature that hasn't had a turn in combat yet.
Okay.
In addition, any hit I score is considered surprise and is a critical hit.
Okay.
Ooh, fuck yes.
Damn.
So here we go. Advantage on the short bow. Come
Big
on,
money.
baby.
Big money.
Hold on.
Roll a 20.
I mean, it's already a critical hit, so it doesn't even matter if it's a 20. The 20 will just be a little extra. Mwah!
Hold on. I'm rolling 220s. 220s. Come on, baby.
I'm worried about
8.
something, but yeah.
That is an 18 plus 5, so it's 23,
Okay, that'll hit.
which is also critical. So with short bow, I do 2d6 plus 3. The
Okay.
critical is not against the modifier, only the base damage.
Okay.
So 2d6 plus 3. That's going to be 8 points of damage.
Also, if let's see, if this creature is surprised by this attack,
He's
That
not
mean-
surprised.
okay,
You
I
knew it was
guarantee
coming.
he's not fucking surprised.
okay, that's
So
fair.
a couple things happen. As you all step in, and he's watching you. Stubby comes in, fires the arrow. As the arrow comes across the room, blazing across, and crosses the air threshold over the runes, you see the runes disappear as he takes this arrow in the chest, and you see him disappear. Let's roll for initiative.
A little pee just
Let's
came out of me.
roll some initiative. Oh, yes. Stubby.
19.
Ooh, good one. Warren.
Warren was completely shocked by this and was not expecting this guy to like just up and disappear. And I rolled a 1, which comes out to a total of 4.
Valadier.
The fat bee man moves very quickly. Did not notice. 5.
Dempsey.
I got a 12.
Very good. So the air around you gets quiet. You don't see anything. And then you see in the southeast corner, you see this thing rematerialize and open up his hands. And I need for Stubby. Where are you at, Dempsey, by the way?
He's still outside the room.
Okay. Right outside the door?
He's doing his intimidation tactics.
How far down the hallway are you?
5 feet.
5 feet? Okay, so I need for Stabi, Valadier, and Dempsey to make a dex save as you see this gout of flame leave his hand and aim right towards that doorway. Stabi.
17.
17. Valadier.
11.
Dempsey.
21.
Oh, shit. So Dempsey, you and Stabi will take half this damage. 12 points of damage. So you'll take 6. Valadier, you take 12.
Damn.
Stabi, what would you like to do as you see this thing begin to take to the air? Zzz, you should have let me go. I would have been at peace. What would you like to do, little man?
Who you calling little, bitch? I'm gonna attack him with my short bow again. That is a 13.
You see him deftly move out of the way as this arrow strikes the wall behind him.
And so I'm gonna use my cunning action. I'm gonna back kind of out of his line of sight into the kind of that door alcove.
Okay, you see back up and you see you're right next to Dempsey.
And
Dempsey,
as
you
he's
see
moving
him-
out, I'm moving in.
Yes.
And I'm worked up now. I'm ready to go. Because
Okay.
I knew exactly where this was going.
So just
same
so you
thing.
know, he's about 40 feet from where you are, covering that across. So you would have to either double move to get to him with no attack, or move your full 30 and still not make the distance, unless you have something else you can do from a distance.
From a distance. I will move the entire way, and then I'm just gonna action surge, and I'm gonna punch the fucker. So is that double? So 2 moves. I get up in his face. Actually, I'm gonna action surge and grapple him.
Oh, goody. Okay, now he's in the air. He's like 10 feet off the ground. So
Okay.
can you...
I mean, Dempsey's like 6'3".
Okay.
I might also argue for like an easy athletics check for him to like jump and like.
Yeah, I was
grapple.
going to make it at disadvantage, but let's go ahead and do an athletics check to make sure that you can grab him. That'd probably be easier for you than having the disadvantage.
That is a 9.
9. So you leap up to grab him, and you see that this bulbous body of this infantile-looking demon definitely gets away from you at that point, leaving it futile to try to grab him. And you see him just look down and you're a fucking oily little bitch. Valadier.
You sickling little bug. Valadier's going to pull out his 2 scimitars and make the distance. I think I could clear where he's at, right?
You should get to him. Yeah, you'll be right beside Dempsey as well.
All right. And make my attack. Let's see. Come on, baby. Something decent. And miss my first attack. Bonus action to make another attack. 16 to hit?
No.
No. So he's just swatting in the air.
He's just swatting. Warren, you see all this shit going sideways. You see Stabi run back into the hallway. Dempsey and Valadier are directly underneath this thing as it's kind of like "Zzz, dead by dawn." Zzz."
Valadier, work with me. We got to get this guy down.
Warren,
I'm
what would you
trying.
like to do?
You like pinata.
So okay, they are in the southeast corner.
Yes.
This creature is in essentially the roof corner. How high is the roof?
It's probably like 20 feet up.
Okay, so he's not completely he's not completely on the roof. He's
Nope.
We're doing the Arsenio Hall.
Yeah. He's hovering between 10 and 12, zzz, just trying to bob and weave, making
okay.
sure that he's not completely static. He's always sort of in motion.
I think you should quiet down and listen to the thunder. And as I say that, Warren takes a step, and a loud sound echoes from his step, which he gathers in his actually gathers the you can almost see the sound gather in his hand as he throws it, and it's going to hit the ceiling directly above this creature, so that it extends 10 feet down from the ceiling and catches this creature in a shatter spell.
Oh, okay.
And not Valadair or Dempsey.
Is that a dex save, I believe, right?
That is a con save.
Oh, con save. 9.
So he takes 18 points of thunder damage.
Okay.
And I will sorry. And then after that, I will move closer to the door so that I'm adjacent, so that he will have to go by me as he exits.
Okay. You see him slightly rocked, rises back up, and you see his arms kind of do this weave in monotonous blurring motion, and you see these 4 entities begin to take shape right inside of the doorway of this room as they begin to come together, look around, and you just see these 4 disgusting mounds of flesh and limbs begin to lumber. You see 2 of them start moving towards the door where Stubby and Warren is at. The first one goes to attack you, Warren, with these 2 befuddling fists. I don't think either one of those is going to hit. 12?
See? No.
Okay, both of them miss. The other one heads. Where are you at, Stubby? How far away are you?
I'm just outside the door, almost into the hallway.
Okay, it tries to pummel you. That one's a cracked die. Both of those are 14. I'm sure that's probably going to miss.
Yeah, my AC is 14.
Oh, that does, both of those hit then. So for 7 points of damage. The other 2 begin to lumber towards you, Dempsey, and you, Valadair, covering the distance. One of them attacks Valadair from behind. Both of those will hit. One's a 20 and one's an 18. Those going to hit you?
Yeah.
For 10 points of damage, and the other one tries to hit you, Dempsey. And both of those will hit. 17 going to hit you?
Nope.
Nope. What about 20?
Nope. Wing
22?
chunks right out of it.
22?
Yes.
Okay. For
Now with that,
4 points of damage.
Now you miss me, so I want to use one of my combat maneuvers. If a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction and spend 1 superior die to make a melee weapon attack against a creature.
Okay.
And if I hit, I get to add the superiority die to the attack damage roll.
Okay.
That's a 1. So I'm about to hit you, Valadair.
Yep. Why don't you see if you hit old Val?
It's a 20.
Yeah, hard 20.
Right in to get it. This is my new move. This is the Dempsey.
Max
Dempsey.
damage to the side of Valadair's head. Loving it. Don't forget to take your 4 points of damage, Dempsey, from the second punch. Valadair, you take damage from Dempsey as well.
All right, what's the damage?
Well, I have to add the superiority dice. So that's a 5. And then it's a...
Love this. Love this game.
So it's a 7. And as a crit, what would double it?
Yep.
Yep.
So that'd be 19.
Without the modifier. Don't double the modifier.
I don't think we
Okay,
have to do the
so-
math. I'm pretty sure Valadair is down.
So 8. That's 8 plus 3 is 11. Plus another 5 is 16.
16.
Oh, yeah.
Are you down?
Super down. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
down.
so
Are you down?
You see Valadair just somebody just waxed him.
Supplies! Run!
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we start picking up your death saves next episode?
All right. Give me time to practice.
Oh my god.
Looks like it might be time for you to
Throw up
another character in
Dempsey,
the,
you're just like,
I said my guy needs to hit the road.
I just love how he like gets all juiced up. Yeah. He just hits the guy.
Punches his own friend.
Oh.
I've never done that in real life. Okay, let me just say that I've never done that in real life.
I don't know. I haven't been drunk enough with you yet. Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, leave us that 5-star rating and review. We've also got a YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20, so if you're into watching, head on over there and hit that like bell, and don't forget to subscribe. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to check us out and look for us out there. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com, or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can also download the current show directly and view our archives and galleries. We got a lot of interesting stuff posted there, so head on over. And finally, join us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So, until next session, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.